Hello, my loving children. I hope you all are doing great at your home. I welcome you in social studies classes. So this will be your first class of this new session 2021-2022. So wasting no time, let's get back to the work. So we are starting with the very first chapter. That's your chapter number 1 from Civics, and the chapter's name is Our Constitution and Its Salient Features. So in this, I'm going to introduce the Constitution, meaning of Constitution, and I'm going to tell you about the salient features, important features of our Indian Constitution. Right, children? So let's get started. What is a constitution? So constitution is what? Is that body of rules and regulations, laws, rules and regulations through which a state is governed, right? So constitution is what? Is that body of rules and regulations according to which a state is governed, right? Okay, now what are the importance, like why we need constitution? We need constitution because it's the form, because it defines, constitution defines the form of government, the powers of the powers to be exercised by the various organs of government. So various organs of government, we know there are 3 main organs of Indian government. So those 3 main government organs of the government are the legislatures, the executives, and the judiciary, right? So constitution determines or defines the powers to be exercised by these various organs, right? Next, the limitations on these powers and people's rights and duties. So constitution tells about people's rights and duties also, right? That is why we need constitution. Clear? Okay, now let's move to the next topic, that is Constituent Assembly. Constituent Assembly. Now, what is Constituent Assembly? Constituent Assembly, we know it's a group of that members, group of people or members, we can say, who had worked to draw up Indian constitutions, right? Okay, so there were many prominent members who really worked for the to draw up constitution for India, right? For examples, the prominent leaders, the prominent members were Jawaharlal Nehru, Vallabhbhai Patel, and Abul Kalam Azad. And not only men, women also equally participated, right? Like Vijaya Lakshmi Pandit and Sarojini Naidu and Amrit Kaur, Rajkumari Amrit Kaur, as well as Begum Azaz Rasool. So there were many prominent men and women leaders or prominent members who really worked hard to draw Indian constitution. Right, children? Okay. So now the question is why Constituent Assembly is known as or was known as Mini India. Okay, the question was why the Constituent Assembly was known as Mini India. Because all the major and minor communities, smaller communities, bigger communities, like the Sikh, the Hindus, the Muslims, and the Parsis, Anglo-Indians, they all were equally represented the Constituent Assembly. So especially the poor sections, from the poor sections, like the scheduled caste and the scheduled tribe, they were equally represented there, right? And not only men, I told you earlier also, not only men, women also equally participated. Like the prominent leaders were Vijay Lakshmi Pandit and Sarojini Naidu, and I forgot to tell some other prominent name also, like Mrs. G. Durga Bai and Rajkumari Amrit Kaur. These were important women leaders, women members of Constituent Assembly. That is why this Constituent Assembly is called Mini India, right? Because all the major and minor sections or minor people, minor communities, they represented the Constituent Assembly. They were represented in Constituent Assembly, right? Okay. Now, next topic is adoption, enactment, and enforcement of the Constitution. So it's not a one-day work or 3 days or 1 month or few months work to make a constitution. So it required a lot of time to make Indian constitution, right? So the next topic is adoption, enactment, and enforcement of the Indian Constitution. So it took almost 2 years and 11 months, 17 days, almost that time to form Indian Constitution, right? So let's discuss about this topic. Okay, now let's discuss about the adoptions, enactment, and the enforcement of Indian Constitution. So adoptions, the first sitting of the Assembly was held on December 9 December 1946, where Dr. Sachidananda was chosen as the interim president of the Assembly. So interim president means temporary, as a temporary president, right? But later on 11th December 1946, Dr. Rajendra Prasad was elected as the as a permanent president of the Constituent Assembly, right? Okay. Now the next topic is enactment, date of enactment and adoption of the constitutions. So date of adoption, that means I told you that it took a lot of time to draw this Indian Constitution, right? So the time was like it took almost 2 years, 11 months and 17 days to to draw up the Constitution, right? So on 26th November 1946, the Assembly adopted and enacted the Constitution, right? So I told you it took almost 2 years, 11 months and 17 days to draw up this, finally to draw up this Constitution, Indian Constitution, right? And so that this shows that they this shows that the Assembly did its job, their duty, in a great deliberations, clear? And not only that, the members participated freely in the debates of the Assembly, as well as the Constituent Assembly's debates had been published in several volumes also, right? Okay, now next is date of enforcement of the constitutions. So I just now I told you about the adoptions and enactment of the constitution. Now come to the next point, that is enforcement. So enforcement means finally at which date this constitution had been accepted, officially accepted. Now, the constitution came into the force on 26 January 1950. When? 26 January 1950. So finally it was announced or adopted. So on that day, Dr. Rajendra Prasad began his first term of the session as a presidentship, right? And the Constituent Assembly became the and now this Constituent Assembly had been had been changed or became the Parliament of India. So Parliament, we know it's a Sansad. We called it Sansad in Hindi. So that Constituent Assembly became the Parliament of India under the transitional provision of the new constitution, right? That is why this 26 January, we celebrate 26 January as Republic Day, right? Okay. Now the next topic to be discussed is significance of 26 January. Why we celebrate, or what's the significance of 26 January in India's struggle for Swaraj. Okay, this 26 January had a great significance in India's struggle for Purna Swaraj. So it is to be noted that on the Congress session, the Congress at Lahore session on this December 29, 1929, they passed a resolution for Purna Swaraj. So Purna Swaraj means complete independence for India, right? So they passed that resolution in that on December 29, 1929 in that Lahore session, and they decided that this Purna Swaraj resolution to be implemented all over India on 26 January. All over means whole India, all over India, right? That is why this 26 January had great importance or great impact on India's struggle for Purna Swaraj. Clear? Okay, now next topic is, okay, by the time the constitution was enacted, there was 395 articles and 8 schedules, but now at present there are 395 articles and 12 schedules. So there was, or there is still amendments are there in the are done in the constitution. So we know by 8th of September 2016 there was a amendment to the constitution. So that was 101 amendment was there. So that was GST. So GST, you know, the full form of GST is Good and Services Tax. So this had been the 101st amendment was there, right, in the Indian Constitution. Now 103rd amendment was also there. That was done in 1st July 2019. That was for the reservation to the economically poor or a backward poor sections. So that was the 103rd amendments done to the constitution, right? So this is the articles, about the articles and the schedules, and we know that Indian constitution is the lengthiest one. It's a sometime it is very rigid and sometime it is very flexible also, right? Indian constitution. And we know that this constitution is what it's however is the very lengthiest one, but the Indian constitution is very well drafted document, right? Okay, children, that's all for today. I hope you have learned many things about your Indian constitution. So in the next video, I'll be telling you about the salient features of Indian Constitution, right? Okay, till then, stay safe, stay healthy. Thank you.